What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, sermonsdomain.com, and we are.
I've heard of Sermons Domain.
Yeah, we did the interview last year.
I fuck with Sermons Domain.
Man, I appreciate that, man. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Okay, so in 1998, you and Mos Def had purchased the first African American bookstore in Brooklyn, and you just told me that you don't have it no more.
Right.
What happened with that?
Book business is tough, man. People don't read. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially people don't shop for bookstores. People don't even keep books in their crib no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to somebody's crib, they might not have not one motherfucking book in their crib, which is sad. But you know, the bookstore business at the same time, and it's not just our store, but it was a lot of stores, just was not able to keep up with the new business model on the internet, the Amazon.coms and what have you. And so it just became a new business model. And when there's a new business model, there's casualties.
Yeah, so what type of influence did the bookstore have on your music career? Because I know you worked there as a teenager, right?
Oh yeah, the bookstore had a great influence on my career. I was already into hip hop, real heavy, when I started working at the bookstore. But my style was already, you know, based in positivity and spirituality, because that's the type of hip hop that I grew up on. But the bookstore, working at a Q gave me facts and history, information to back up sort of some of the things I was rapping about. So my rhyme style became more, I don't know, factual. It became more like informed when I started working at the bookstore.
Okay, so we all remember the classic line that Jay-Z spit on Moment of Clarity. I wanted to ask you, like, what do you remember about, like, the first time that you heard the record? Like, what was going through your mind when you heard that line?
When I heard that, I was working on Beautiful Struggle, and I was in the studio, and Busta Rhymes had heard it before me, and he called me, and he told me about it, and I think I sent an email to Jay-Z. Oh, thank you. Not an email, I think I sent a two-way. Maybe I had a two-way page or something. I sent a two-way page to Jay, and I was like, thank you for the line. And then I heard the record when it came out, and it was a good time in my career. And it was for me, the most important thing about that song is that on Moment of Clarity, Jay was talking about his life and his father and things that were important to him in life. So for him to mention my name and to mention Common's name on that record felt special, because it was something that it was very introspective, you know.
So the title of your next mixtape is Attack the Block. You know, it's been over a year since Gutter Rainbows came out, and Prisoner of Conscience is also on the way. So what made you take that mixtape step before this upcoming album?
I feel like the fans nowadays are so used to getting music for free and downloading music for free that the best way that you can promote your album that you're trying to sell is to give them something. And I have a lot of songs and music that I've done that, you know, maybe I haven't cleared a sample, or I got features that, you know, it'd be a lot of paperwork and this and that. So with a lot of that music that I have sitting around before the album comes out, I was just like, let me just put some of that out and let the people start a buzz and get the people aware of what I'm doing. Like, you know, I haven't put the mixtape out. Like you said, it's been a year since Gutter Rainbows, but I could come here to Seattle with, you know, artists like Jay Pinder and do small clubs like the Crocodile, and people will come and see it. But when we do these type of shows and it's supporting an actual project is going to be a bigger thing, you know. And so the mixtape will help with that.
So you revealed a lot of the features for the tape on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. It's forcing me to have to put a song out early, because I've been running my fucking mouth about it.
You were just gonna drop the tape?
Yeah, but now I gotta, and even tonight, like I was like, why am I even doing all this talking? Because I just got a mix of one of the songs, so I was excited about it. But I feel like now I gotta put it out tomorrow, because I said I was going to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So what was your process like for gathering like the features? Like why did?
Honestly, there were a couple features that I had already, but honestly, I sent out a bunch of emails and text messages and DMs to everybody I know who maybe I rapped on their project, or someone I had a good relationship with, and I said, yo, I'm doing this mixtape, I'm trying to put it out in the next 3 weeks, how quickly can you give me a verse? And some people responded and got me verses, some didn't, they were too hectic, but I got so much good material out of that.
Okay, so last time that we had spoke, we touched a bit on like the legal issues that was surrounding your tape with DJ Smallz, Northern Lights, Southern Smoke. You know, now that chapter is pretty much closed, can you like talk about more like what prevented the release and if we're ever hearing any of the material that you recorded?
I think DJ Smallz, you know, he is just, I really have a lot of respect for what he's done. And coming from where he's coming from, he's really, you know, he's really developed his own brand and this and that. But you know, Smallz is a visionary. Just like he's an artist. He's more than a DJ. He's a visionary artist. And I'm a visionary too. And we have different visions for how we want our things to be presented. I feel like I'm going to do a mixtape with Smallz, but a lot of that material that I was saving for that mixtape is some of that's going to come out on my mixtape. And you know, I think me and Smallz need to do something more specific.
Okay, so let's discuss Prisoner of Conscience a little bit. Like, you had mentioned a while back that this album was going to be more experimental back when it was in its developing stages. Now that you're more deeper into creating the album and you know, almost done, what type of like experimenting can fans look forward to hearing?
Not so much, you know, maybe experimenting might have been the wrong word for me to use, but just a different direction. You know, songs that are more focused on life and what people are going through. And dealing with the social conditions in that way, as opposed to speaking directly to the social conditions. That's what I'm really trying to achieve with this new album.
And you had talked about the features on stage. Do you want to care to repeat the features?
Yeah, I mean, you know, let's see. We got Miguel and Melanie and Kendrick and Curren, my man Rubik's, Sale George, Mano, Busta Rhymes, RZA. And there's a lot of features. This album has more features than any album I'm going to put out. But I don't want that to take away from the fact that it's my album. I've always been into features. I've always been into collaborations. You know, with Mos Def, with High Tech, with Madlib, with Reese. I always do a new group. But this album, I really wanted to bring. You know, Eardrum had a lot of features too, but it was a lot more songs on it than this new album.
Yeah, and so one of the songs you had previewed on stage, you said has you played the Kendrick Lamar verse, which sounds crazy, and then you said Currency's also on the record. What made you put those two together on one track?
It was crazy. I did that song such a long time ago, and the verses are really old. Not old in the sense of old, but old in hip hop old, like a couple years old.
Yeah.
Kendrick, you know, I have a spot in LA, and a couple years ago, Debbie Dev, I have a studio, and Debbie Dev used to do a radio show out in my studio, and she brought Kendrick. I was cool with J-Rock and Nipsey, and them, and they brought Kendrick through, and this was before, you know, Section 80 or High Power, or whatever these records that he dropped, and he just was spitting, and I was like, this shit sound incredible to me, and me and him had just maintained a relationship since then, and I have a lot of respect for Black Hippie and Top Dog, and Everyday Free and Absol and Schoolboy and Jay and everything that they doing, man. You know, I really have a lot of respect and support for that crew. So Kendrick was somebody who I always try to on my records put somebody on who you may not be checking for. But in the time, people were already kind of checking for Currency. Currency's my man. Currency kind of hopped on that record just because he was in the studio, did a verse. Oh, Jay Pender trying to get his sexy in here. You know, but in the time between when Kendrick laid the verse till now, he's done a lot of work to get his name out there, which is great for Kendrick and great for that record. You know, it's like now when I put it out, we shot a video for that last year, so I'm gonna drop. I want to make sure the album is ready before I drop that. But you know, it's just a great thing to be working with an artist who's that exciting, and Currency as well.
So when can we expect Prisoner of Conscience? Because I know you have it kind of like, I was looking at like all the release dates for your past albums. Kind of fall, a lot of your projects kind of come out in the fall time. So
yeah, that wasn't. It's not. Prisoner of Conscience is going to be in the fall at this point. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to not drop it in the fall. But as I think about it, like you said, like I looked at that pattern too, and out of all my albums, the most successful ones come out in the fall. I think it's because people are going back to school and want to hear my music at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so October.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So what's your favorite album that came out in the last year?
Favorite album that came out in the last year. Favorites. I don't know. I'm really into this Nas right now.
Yeah, incredible album.
I'm into this Nas right now. Who else dropped that? I was really... You know, I don't know. I've been so focused. I'm a consumer. You know, I buy albums. But I've been so focused on the mixtape and my project that I haven't really checked for a lot of different things. You know, I just really haven't.
Okay, so my last question is...
Which is strange for me, because I usually am able to rattle off a list of what I've been listening to. But for the past few months, I haven't been really listening to anything.
So my last question is, let's say you go on tour and you can only bring one CD to listen to for the entire tour. What CD would you bring and why?
John Coltrane, Love Supreme. That's the best, most pure piece of music that I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, so I appreciate the interview. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You know, great answers and all that. I appreciate this.
No, great blog, man. Yes, sir.
Man, I've been hearing that a lot lately.
What, great blog?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because you ask questions that are based in your love for the music. Like, you're asking musical questions. And it's like, I can tell, because I know what's on my Wikipedia page. So I can tell when people are just asking questions that they just Googled. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to someone who really listens to the music. You know, and I appreciate all of it. I appreciate anybody who's interested, you know, but it's extra dope when someone really knows their shit. You know what I'm saying?